This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. Welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. You guys got me laughing, man. Oh, I spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and they're not much of a team, folks. Not much of a team. Angels, they scored 1 run. That's not great. You're not going to win many games when you score 1 run, but you're certainly not going to win many games when you give up 12 runs and 14 hits. 12-1 the final as the Angels lose another series. And if any of you were still delusional enough to think that this team had any sort of a shot, there is not a single honk, a single hopeful in this entire fan base that is still even going to look at the wild card standings when they wake up in the morning tomorrow. Because this team has not only proven that they don't have a 5-game winning streak in them, even when you sweep a team like the Dodgers, you respond by losing the next 2 to the A's. This team has proven they don't have a winning streak in them. But now they have confirmed that they aren't even average. This is a bad baseball team again. And you see the thumbnail. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. Maybe you're listening on the audio podcast side, whatever you're doing. The thumbnail says, competitive, with quotes and a question mark. Comical. It's comical. We thought it was comical when Perry Manassian said it at the trade deadline that this team was really competitive. But certainly you could maybe have made an argument at that point that they're kind of competitive. Right now, they are not kind of competitive. This is an awful baseball team again. This is not a team that was in coin flip games. And I laughed because Jack M said, another coin flip? Question mark? No. Beef Noodle says, meaningful baseball, in quotes. Exactly. You forget how great we had it. And great was still being below 500. But at least every game was a 1 or 2 run game. At least it felt like every at-bat was meaningful. Well, guess what? We are somehow, some way, right on pace to be the team we were last year that was not playing anything close to meaningful baseball in the month of September. Despite everything we went through to get to this point, everything we went to, the hot start, the abysmal second and third months of the season, the streak before the trade deadline, and then what we've had now in the month of August, an abysmal month of August. Somehow, despite all of the roller coaster events of this season, we are going to manage to be playing meaningless baseball on September 1st. Once again, it's unbelievable. Sold out crowd. I get it. It was half Cubs fans, but you can tell, right? I've worked for the Clippers this past season. I'm working for another team this upcoming season. I work in ticket sales. I understand promotions and all that. You could tell that the beginning of the season, when they came up with this schedule, they were hoping that a series like this was going to be meaningful. Because you've got the Cubs, a big ticket team, competitive team this year, big fan base. You've got a late second to last weekend of August, right? So you're getting to that point where meaningful baseball should be happening, right? And let's be honest, nobody came into the season expecting the Angels to be making the playoffs. But when I see a Logan O'Hoppe bobblehead giveaway last night with a City Connect Angels hat giveaway tonight, back-to-back games with the giveaway, What does that tell me? Tell me if you guys disagree, but I'll tell you what that tells me. It tells me that at this point, they either thought the season would be over and we need to incentivize people to come to the stadium. So we're going to have 2 giveaways in back-to-back games and our last homestand of August. But because it's August, you're thinking, maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance that they're not out of it yet, right? Maybe they're hoping that maybe at this point, instead of the Angels being what they are, which is 61-68, maybe they're 63-66, 64-65, right? Something like that coming into this series. You're thinking, okay, well, guess what? The Angels kind of were that coming into the series. And instead of this being a series where either the season is over and you've just got people coming strictly for the bobbleheads and the hats, this is the in-between where it's like, this is the last hope this weekend. And yet this team has somehow killed any possibility of this being a turnaround weekend, even just a weekend where you show up to the Big A, you get the bobblehead, you smile, and you leave because at least you had fun. You're not even getting moral victories. You're not even getting a, hey, it was a fun weekend with our kids at the ball game. This is embarrassing stuff. This is infuriating stuff. It's pretty hard to give away a bobblehead or give away a hat and yet have all the fans leave the stadium upset. And you've managed to do that when you lose yesterday, and then you respond with this 12-1 infuriating defeat. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not breaking down every run the Cubs scored tonight. I'm not breaking down every out the Angels made tonight. My shows are supposed to be 18 minutes, and I give you 25 because I like to talk about the Angels. I like talking with you guys. But let's be honest, folks. What is there to say tonight? What is there to say tonight? The Angels have 5 hits. Their offense has completely fallen off a cliff. 2 hits from Jo Adell. He hits a home run. He's one of the only guys that showed up to the ballpark today. Rengifo with a base hit. Ohapi with a base hit. And we've reached that point of the season where Nico Cavadas is on the Major League roster. That tells you all you need to know. No offense to him. And he gets a base hit. His first hit in the bigs this season. Good for him. But we have reached that point in the season where we have lost the plot. It's done. We've got Oswald Peraza as the best pitcher of the ball game tonight for the Angels. We've got Nico Cavadas as one of the 4 guys on the Angels with the base hit tonight. We've got another 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts from Mike Trout. Zach Neto gets pulled early from this game after going 0 for 2. Sean 0 for 2 gets pulled early. Taylor Ward 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Moncada 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Bryce T, unfortunately, has fallen off a cliff right back to reality for him. Another 0 for 3. But guys, we have reached the point of the season, not where it's half meaningful, half meaningless, somewhere in between. No. The Angels, it's like they went on a mountaintop and announced to their fans, to anybody watching, we are letting you all know that this is meaningless baseball time. We're not even going to show up to the park. 12-1. 12-1. And some people are going to sit here and go, Gavin, we're starting Victor Medeiros. How could you make the argument that this team's competitive when they're starting Victor Medeiros? I'm not making that argument. That's the point. That's why the thumbnail is what it is. It is so ridiculously comical that you can roll out a rotation like this, roll out a bullpen like this. And let's be honest, the Jo Adell home runs are nice. The occasional Zach Neto superstar performance is nice. But you can't roll out a lineup like this either and say that this team is really competitive. We have been saying all along that this team is not really competitive. And so, yes. Is it frustrating that Victor Medeiros had another awful outing? Yes. Is it frustrating that some people are going to look at this game and say, well, it's a Victor Medeiros start. Don't judge the team on these starts. Start it on other starts. No, the moral of the story is the fact that Victor Medeiros starts are a thing. And no offense to him. It's not his fault. He's not supposed to be a starting pitcher for the Angels yet, right? But a team that rolls out Victor Medeiros, a team that has Oswald Peraza on the roster, period, right? A team that's still playing Logan O'Hoppe as your everyday catcher. I'm sorry, he's just not good. Not right now, at least. A team that, as much as we love, the legend that is Mike Trout, he should not be hitting in the 3-hole anymore. Guys, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? It's not a competitive team. There's not much else to say. And it's just, I don't want to be an I told you so. And I know even I, at times, was like, maybe this team's doing a little bit more than I thought they would do. But this is what we were saying all along. The team is not good enough. And now are they not only good enough, they are awful. And the effort isn't even there anymore. And that's what hurts the most. We're going to take our break. When we come back, I'll actually tell you, I guess, a little bit what happened because the Cubs did something historic in this game. We'll talk about that when we come back from this embarrassment edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I'll be right back. Now, today's show is once again brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. I'm starting to get back into golf a little bit. As some of you know, I moved back to the Bay Area. It's hard to get a tee time down in SoCal. Hoping it's going to be a little easier up here. And whenever I do play golf, I'm already a huge caffeine guy, but especially on the golf course and just in my everyday life. And that's where 5-Hour Energy comes in big time. Whether it's golf or anything else, it's all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It does exclude the Masters tournament, and it ends October 31st. 2025. Back here live on a what the heck edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. It's funny. I'm playing MLB The Show all the time, right? I actually play with an Angels franchise, and ironically, Kyle Tucker is on my Angels franchise. It's a fun time. Why am I talking about it, right? Well, because there's this, the announcers say things in the game, and when it's a blowout, when it's a score like 12-1, they go, well, we're in a blowout, so let's talk about random stuff. This is a video game, by the way. And then they start talking about random stuff. That's how I feel tonight. Let's talk about random. It's 12-1, guys. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's go to the comments. I want to see what you guys are talking about. And then we will talk quickly about the historic thing the Cubs did tonight. Gene Jacket says, thank God Perry is having our young guys play meaningful games down the stretch. Am I right? Yes, it's sarcasm time because, yes, you're exactly right. It just makes all the comments at the deadline, all the comments the last couple of weeks look that much more embarrassing. Mark T says, total embarrassment tonight. Nathan says, sorry, not bothering tonight. I'm with you. This feels like one of those nights where who even cares? Who even cares? You know me. You could tell I'm worked up. I'm angry right now. But part of me is like, I don't even want to be worked up. If I wasn't doing the show, I'll be honest. You saw how I started the show. That's how I've been for the last 10 minutes. Just staring into space. Bewildered at how bad the state of affairs has become. Angels Win says, what a disaster. Trade everyone and fire everyone. Certainly makes sense. David says, we were talking about the promotions earlier. Said sad part has already undoubtedly looked at the schedule at the trading deadline and saw 3 Dodgers and 3 Cubs game that would be sellouts even if the Trash Pandas were playing. The gate goes up year over year. Not sure why he would be motivated to build a winner. You're right. You're right, but we love our team. I'll be honest. I've only been to 2 games this season. I had a great time at both, right? Great time. The giveaways are great. I love my Zach Neto bobblehead. I love my Logan O'Hoppe bobblehead. I'm really bummed I can't be there to try to get that Mike Trout bobblehead in a couple weeks from now, right? And I'm not going to criticize anyone that goes to a game because it's fun. But again, it's not a coincidence that giveaway yesterday, giveaway today. Let's look at the next homestand. It's against the A's. Giveaway Friday night, and then Fiesta Angels on Saturday. The next series is the Twins. Well, guess what? That Monday game against the Twins, surely not going to sell, right? Well, not if we throw a Mike Trout Rookie of the Year bobblehead. It's genius, right? The last series of the year. Who's going to go to that when, the season's probably over by then? Well, there's a giveaway of an Angels jersey that 26th of September. The 27th, Houston Astros, second last game, giveaway, team photo, right? It's a business at the end of the day. No one's going to deny it, right? And yes, it's true that the fact that this team is supported as much as it is by us as fans certainly might not motivate Artie to be serious about things, but it just sucks, man. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to have the deep talks tonight about it. We all know, we all agree that the state of affairs with this organization, ownership, GM, all of it, it's a disaster. You know how I feel about Ray Montgomery. I think he's no good. Right? I'm not going to blame this loss on him or anything, but I think he stinks. I'll say it one more time for anyone who doesn't hear. I think Ray Montgomery stinks. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan at all. And so the roster is not good enough. The management is not good enough. The GM state of affairs, the front office is not good enough to build this roster. It feels like it's going to still take a couple years, which is why it's laughable that we tried to act like it was going to happen this year when we could have accelerated the rebuild a couple weeks ago. Larry S., when I said I was staring into space, he says that's what our players are doing, just staring into space. I know a lot of people have been talking about who the next manager is going to be. I hope Ron Washington is healthy, right? And for the sake of his health and everything, I hope he's the Angels manager next season because it means he's healthy enough to be a manager. And as a person, I love Ron Washington. I hope he's healthy enough to be the Angels manager. But certainly, if you can't play or be a coach the entire season, more likely than not, he will not be the manager. Certainly, Ray Montgomery has not earned the opportunity. And so, yes, it does feel like we've reached that point of the season where I'm going to look at the lineup and start debating who should be on the roster next year. We're going to start having debates in the comments section about who should be the manager next year. I know Angels Win has been clamoring for about a year and a half for it to be Torrey Hunter. We see Steve G saying it should be Yadi Molina. Eric saying should it be Dave Martinez. I don't know. I really don't know. Cat Soup says his early season guess of 72 and 90 is looking very possible. Now, that's kind of what we'll end this show with. How bad can it get for the Angels, right? You're 61, and 68. For those who can do the quick math, that's 129 games, which means you've got 33 left. If I had to guess, of the 33, I'd say the Angels probably win 13. I'm going to go with 13 and 20 for the final 33 games of the year. That's my final prediction, which means they would be 74 and 88. Joseph is going 10. He says 10 of the last 33. That's certainly fair. Jordan says I'm generous for saying whatever I just said. Did I say 13? Yeah, 13 and 20. I mean, generous, I guess. That's still below a third of your games, or just a little bit above, a third of your games that you're winning, which is kind of what every series is. They go 1-2 every series. So Real Marco Polo says 13 more losses to clinch another losing season. We know that's happening. They're not going 21 and 12 in these next 33. So we know it's a losing season. Mark T says he gets the exact same thing of 13 and 20 in the final 33. We'll see. It doesn't really matter at this point. I would just like to see a couple things. I'd like to see Christian Moore be an everyday player the rest of the season, because what's the point of him not be? Bryce T, keep him. Let's see if he can, he had his hot streak that are all of our young outfielders love to have. Kyron, Matthew Lugo, now Bryce T. They love to have that hot start. And then the major league pitching adjusts, and then they fall off a cliff. Well, guess what? Bryce T should have the opportunity to play the rest of the season and see if he can get it back up, right? No one says he has to go back to hitting 400, but if you can go back up to hitting 260, then, hey, we have a guy that can be your center fielder next year, right? Would love to see Christian Moore crack the 200 average. Would love to see guys like Ohapi and Adele and Moncada get into the 240s, right? Would love to see Shonda finish the season above 270, Neto above 270. But we're just looking at little minute things with stats because the win-loss record, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. And for those who are saying, Gavin, we're still not out of the wild card, we still haven't been eliminated, this team has shown you nothing all month. It's not just this series. Outside of the Dodgers series, this team has shown you nothing all month. And that is why it's over. There's not a single thing you've seen this month outside of those 3 games against the Dodgers, which don't count at this point because clearly this team just plays better in that series. They've shown nothing else that would make you believe this team has a win streak in them, let alone the huge win streak that would be necessary to come all the way back, right? But with all that being said, the Angels are 7.5 games out of the wild card. We've reached meaningless baseball season. Still hope you guys join me after every single show. We still got plenty to talk about. I know tonight I hardly talked about the game. I just screamed and yelled and ranted, but you know that we did it last year. We're going to do it again this year. We're going to look at the young guys and see how they did in specific situations and specific games against specific pitching or pitchers in specific situations and managing and base running and all of that, right? We are still going to break it all down. It's just, let's be honest, the context is not going to be how will this help the team make the playoffs this year. The context will be how will this help the team maybe make the playoffs next year or the year after that or something like that. That's just a shift that's going to happen. But with all that being said, shout out to everybody. David is absolutely right. Still hit the like button. Shout out to all of you for being in here. It's a Saturday night. You could be doing many things, but you're here with us. Really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. We'll be back here tomorrow, day game. Let's avoid the sweep. Let's have a little bit of confidence, and we'll see what happens. Also, if you are a Rams fan, if you're an NFL fan in general, make sure you check out the Locked On Rams squad show I did on the Locked On Rams YouTube channel today. I'll be doing that twice a week as well. In addition to this, I'm back in the Bay Area. And so, shout out to everybody in here. Have a great rest of your Saturday night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. And even after a game like this, go Angels, everybody. Take care.